good morning. If you still don't already know my name is Calvin Valentine, the creator of what? Live to make history. And in this video, we're going to be breaking it down. I'm talking about sugars. Yes, sugars. And should you be consuming sugars? And are they healthy? Are they really healthy? How can you continue to excel and continue to maintain those gains? So, what are sugars? That sweet taste. What are sugars? So sugars can be, described as a carb source. Yes, a carb source, and it can be instantly used as energy. But there's a difference. It is very sweet. And it's usually when it's entered the bloodstream, it raises your blood sugars. That's usually in glucose. So, should you be technically taking sugars? Can I be in the best shape of my life and still consume sugars? Calories in, calories out. Should I just cut it out completely? Am I so confused? So wait, what if one of my cravings are sugars? Do I have to completely cut it out? What will happen? I'll say stay tuned, and this video will reveal everything. You ready? Sugar, let's go! So, should you be technically consuming loads of sugars? Of course not. Why? Because sugars are high in calories. Yes! Sugars has 4 calories per gram. So yes, you can see how it's easily able for you to scale that body fat. So you need to be careful when consuming sugars in crazy amounts. Because sugars are sweet, just so sweet, and a lot of people cannot live without them. But that doesn't mean you need to cut out all sugars. It doesn't mean you need to start limiting yourself. It doesn't mean that you cannot still. It does not mean that you cannot still be in the best shape of your life and still be consuming fairly, reasonable amount of sugar. So yes, you can still lose weight. I had to pause there. You can still lose weight whilst consuming sugars. But I'm going to say there's a but. There is a but. You need to be very reasonable with your sugars. You need to know when to consume it, which I will bring along the topic very soon. I'm coming on to that. It's all about tactical and being smart with yourselves. Let me just break this down. My own verdict on sugary and what I have, witness going, consuming sugars and how it's affected my body. Like I always said before, it's about being smart and tactical with yourselves to continue to be in the best shape of your lives, right? So, breaking it down, I would tend to consume, yes, your sugaries that you may think of, I've got a guilty pleasure for, guess what? So I have a guilty pleasure. I have a guilty pleasure for Skittles. I don't have it too much, but I know when to consume it. Sometimes Haribos as well. You got to be smart because I'm a bodybuilder, right? Going to the gym, using glucose as energy. Obviously, when you finish training, your body is run down. Your body is desperate. Yes, after training, your body is desperate for sugars. So, there's nothing coming into your body. It's desperate for that energy source because obviously you've broken down, the tissue cells with your training, right? Because the muscle tissues are broken down, it needs something. So after training, I'll go consume sugars. So sometimes after training, if I don't have my protein supplements with me, I would tend, yes, I'm telling you this because it works. So after training, yes, I would go buy something that's high in sugars, like let's say Haribos or Skittles, even Snickers sometimes, because I know instantly the body is going to switch that and use that as energy, not get stored as body fat. So you can still get your cravings in, but you want to know when to do it at the right times. Like, I'm not going to go and do it right before bed, am I? No, I'm not going to do it when I first wake up in the morning, like when I need the important nutrients. But after training, when your body is desperate for sugars. That's, for example, I'm giving an example. It's one of the best times where I take sugars, and I'm talking about sugars that are high, very high in calories. The sugars that you should be tending to avoid. It's all about being smart. You can still have certain stuff and still be in the best shape of your lives, as I keep saying. So guess what? I've been doing this theory for years and years and years. I feel like as a nation, we tend to overthink things. I don't know why. Sometimes less is more. So I'm giving this from my own verdict itself. We tend to overthink things and, think we can't consume the sugars that are high in glucose, those artificial sweeteners. Yes, you can, but in moderate amounts. Like, less is more sometimes. See how I say that slowly? Less is more sometimes. We overthink things. Stop drastically cutting things out, because you need to live the best life for yourselves. So I think you're gonna like this. Take this tip. If you didn't take anything else in this whole, tips on, sugars and everything, take this tip. Did you know? I had to pause there. Did you know fruits? Yes, the fruits are high in you got this. Fruits are high in sugars, usually half fructose, usually half glucose. So yes, fruits are high in sugars. Now let me break this down. Let me tell you something real quickly, because you've got to be careful sometimes, because depending on your body type as well, everybody's different. Are you diabetic? How does your insulin, how do you handle, carbs? How do you handle carbs? Everybody's body is different. So for example, oranges, for example, I will take oranges right after training again. This is another tip. I will take oranges right after training. Why? Because they are high in amino acids. Yes, but you got to be careful, because oranges are very sweet. Very sweet. Raise your blood sugars. Yes, oranges can raise your blood sugars when consumed in high amounts. So you need to be careful, especially someone that's trying to lose weight and trying to avoid that insulin sensitivity. Be careful. No, I'm not saying cut out all fruits. I'm not saying cut out fruits. Just be careful. Everybody's body types are different. You may be eating healthy, or you may be on this healthy plan, avoiding this, avoiding that, and you're still wondering why you are not still, or losing weight as you wanted. Maybe your sugar levels in the bloodstream are raised quite high sometimes. So just be careful of how you consume certain fruits. Mangoes are high in sugars. Watermelons are very high in sugar. So there's just be careful. There's listen, go on and on and on. Just be careful. For those people out there who are very stubborn, this is for you. So you don't want to cut out, your sugars. You love sugars in high amounts, okay? If you're not going to cut out your sugars, I'm just trying to break this down for you. If you are not going to cut out your sugars, and you love this, you love that, sometimes you can't please everybody. You need to be making sure you are moving more. Let me say that again for the back people over there who didn't hear me. Yes, you. You need to make sure you are moving more. Because some people are very stubborn. I've had clients in the past who want to, reach a certain goal, want to reach a certain weight sometimes, but they're very stubborn. They will not listen to whatever you say because they like certain foods and, they like it in a certain structure. So you need to just move more to, reach your goals. You need to move more. It's that simple. Because with sugars, when consumed in large amounts or in high amounts over a period of time, it can be very, very addictive. Yes, like cocaine. Yes, especially when it's mixed with other, high in fat foods as well. So think of stuff like cakes and all this kind of stuff. Sugars can be highly addictive. So sometimes you need to understand people's reasoning or where people come from, their background and stuff like that, because you can't please everybody. Certain stuff are stuck in people's mindset. It takes a long time to see some kind of change. Remember what I said before about change, being the change you want to see? You've got to go back and see that change. It takes time. If you are struggling through this, or someone that's struggling through this, you just need to start moving more. You need to move more and work from there. Ensure you are in a calorie deficit. Yes, ensure you are in a calorie deficit. Continue to excel your gains. But for those of you who want to have sugars at moderation, there are also alternatives. The list can go on and on and on. So for example, honey, maple syrup, but you need to be careful. Maple syrup is high in calories, so you want to consume that in moderation. Another great one that I love is coconut sugar. Yes, coconut sugar, which is more refined, so you can continue to excel your gains. There are always going to be alternatives. You just need to know how to play the game right, and of course still be in the best shapes of your lives. So wrapping this up, concluding this whole sugar, which is not as complicated as you may think. Yes, you can have the sugars you want in moderation. Remember, fruits as well are also high in sugar, so you need to know how and when to consume them. Yes, referring back to those artificial, sweeteners a lot of people may deem as wrong. Know when to consume them. When I gave my own scenario, for example, knowing when to, put it into the body where it can be used instantly as energy, so you're still technically enjoying the benefits of it. But if utilized correctly, avoid being victim to this sweetness, sugars myth. Breaking it down, just keep yourself moving as well by all means. Why? Because we have one life. So let's go out there and let's continue to live. Let's continue to live to make history. Why? Because you and I, we have one life.